Let's talk about the psychology of procrastination. Most people think procrastination means you're lazy. Psychology says the opposite. In fact, procrastination has very little to do with work ethic and a lot to do with how your brain handles emotions. When we procrastinate, we usually tell ourselves the same story. I'm just bad at discipline. I need more motivation. I'm lazy. But if procrastination were really about laziness, it wouldn't affect people who care deeply about their work. And yet, some of the most driven, intelligent, and ambitious people procrastinate the most, especially on tasks that actually matter to them. So what's really going on? So what does psychology actually says? Psychologists don't define procrastination as poor time management. They define it as a problem of emotion regulation. According to psychological research summarized by Timothy Pychyl, and supported by work referenced by the American Psychological Association, procrastination happens when a task triggers negative emotions. Stress, self-doubt, boredom, anxiety. When that happens, your brain looks for a way to make those feelings go away. Not by completing the task, but by avoiding it. But why does avoidance feel so tempting? Checking your phone, watching a video, cleaning something that doesn't really matter, doing anything that gives short-term relief. In that moment, procrastination actually works. You feel better, at least temporarily. And because your brain experienced relief, it remembers that avoidance is a solution. That's why procrastination becomes a habit. However, motivation usually fails. This is where most advice goes wrong. We're told to just be more motivated. But motivation is unreliable. It rises and falls with mood, energy, and stress. Psychologist Piers, one of the most cited researchers on procrastination, explains that humans are biased toward immediate rewards. Your brain values feeling better now, more than feeling accomplished later. So when a task feels uncomfortable, motivation alone isn't strong enough to override that instinct. That's not laziness. That's human psychology. Think about a task you've been avoiding. Maybe it's an email you've delayed for days, or starting a project you know you should work on. Notice what comes up right before you avoid it. It's usually not a lack of time. It's a feeling, tension, uncertainty, the pressure to do it perfectly. Your brain interprets that discomfort as a threat, and avoidance becomes a coping strategy. Here's the most important thing to understand. Procrastination isn't a time problem, it's an emotion problem. You're not avoiding the task, you're avoiding the feeling the task creates. Once you see procrastination this way, it stops being a personal failure and starts being something you can work with. Recognizing this changes everything. When you believe procrastination is laziness, you fight yourself. You use guilt, pressure, self-criticism. But psychological research consistently shows that shame makes procrastination worse, not better. Understanding procrastination as emotional avoidance changes the strategy entirely. Instead of asking, "Why am I so lazy?" a better question becomes, "What feeling am I trying to avoid right now?" That single shift lowers resistance and makes action easier. Remember, you don't need a complicated system to start changing procrastination. You need awareness. When you stop blaming yourself and start understanding your brain, progress becomes much easier. In the next video, we'll look at why motivation disappears, even when you care deeply about your goals, and what psychology says actually works instead. If you are experiencing procrastination, drop a comment below and tell us your experience. You will notice that you're not alone, and it is more common than we think.